So fearful for the future of this world that you don't want to bring kids into this world. According to a report in USA Today, a growing trend here at home, more women are saying they will not have children because of climate change. Independent Women's Forum senior advisor Andrea Botner, we had a Democratic strategist Marjorie Clifton, and the Washington Examiner's Tiana Love. Tiana, I don't understand the thinking behind this. I guess the world's going to be a dangerous place. You don't want to bring kids into a world like that. Is that the gist of it?
So first thing, if you aren't going to have children because you think climate change is going to kill us all within the next 12 years, please don't have children because IQ is hereditary. But realistically, this is this sort of utilitarian fanaticism and this idea that if women don't have children, that somehow that will help the fight against climate change. And we aren't even discussing the expansion of nuclear power or even sanctioning India and China. It is truly delusional, and it is truly just this radical utilitarian apocalyptic turn that I think that a certain wing of the Democratic Party has embraced with this Green New Deal.
Well, Margie, they could just be concerned with the future of the planet and don't want to risk bringing a child in to see its halcyon days, right?
Yeah, I don't like to pass judgment on people's decisions to have children or not, but I think in this situation, actually, it's a lot of women afraid for those children, not about the impact on the planet, but more so what the planet's going to be like for them, which, you know what, having children is a selfless act, and that's a pretty selfless thought. So I actually think that's not a terrible way to be thinking, but it also signals a big change in how these younger generations are thinking. And when you look at millennials, they are much more socially conscious. About 66% of women in the United States believe that climate change is a major issue in comparison to 51% of men. And in other countries like Australia, 22% of women are choosing also not to have children due to climate change. So climate is on the mind of a lot of people around the globe. And you know, it signals a shift in people's thinking. And for politics, I think that's an important thing to pay notice to.
All right, Andrea, what do you think?
Well, I think to have a child is a very personal and unique decision. I think there are many, many issues. Climate change may be one of many that people worry about and wonder about. But anybody who has a child or is thinking about having a child knows what a big, weighty decision it is. And I think, frankly, when we look back in this country and we think of times when we've gone through world wars, depression, nuclear threat, there are many concerns, but there's no guarantee with parenthood.
Well,
you have to take a leap of faith.
A very important point there that might not be climate change you're worried about,
Right.
but any male or female looking to bring children into this world would think, all right, I'm worried about war, I'm worried about all this other stuff, I'm worried about, you know, whatever, the debt. I think it's a push if you're thinking the debt is your reason. But anyway, Tiana, I'm just wondering if there are other forces at play here that are reflecting this frustration on the part of women to say, no, I'm not going to risk it.
Well, I think that there's the issue that two things can't be true at once. We can't say that this is such an imminent problem that we aren't seriously discussing sanctions, or that we aren't seriously discussing the mass nationalization of nuclear energy. So the fact that these are not conversations that are being brought up by antinatalists just goes to show how unserious the concern about the problem is. But ultimately,
we don't know that. Marjorie, we don't know that, right? We just let's accept these women at face value that they're concerned. And this is the best way they could see addressing it, by not adding to the population.
But
right.
there is the economic argument.
Go ahead, Marjorie.
Yeah, no, so the issue there was women talking about climate and future, but when you look at the actual birth rates in the country, 2017 being the lowest we've ever had in history, or at least since they were measured in 1909. When you look at trends through history when we've had lowest birth rates, it's actually been economically driven, because the Depression was actually the last time we had a significant drop. So I think today, the things also we need to look at is the cost of school. I mean, college admission being something that's a big trend right now, the cost of college. And those are the things I hear parents talking a lot about. So not only what does the future look like for my children, but what can I provide to them in the current environment?
By the way, maybe this is going to cinch the deal under. We're just learning that Republicans got enough votes to defeat the Green New Deal. So if these women were on the fence about not having kids, this just might have cinched it. What do you think?
Well, absolutely. I don't think there's any sort of debate that there is climate change, but the way that we're going to address it, how much we're going to spend, how vociferously we're going to fight that problem, that's all going to come into play. And it's one of many issues that women and parents-to-be and everybody else are going to be worrying about. But there's no guarantee with parenthood. You've got to take a leap of faith at some point.
Indeed. For good or ill, right? Well, ladies, thank you.